Voice. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. I think we should be set. Have this on, and we should be good. Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope the day was restful and productive. Yeah, Link, I'm sorry to hear that. That stinks. I know I responded, but like to say it out loud, that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry that happened though. Voice volume's a little low. I didn't change anything. So that's a lie. It's not that my voice volume is low, it's that the music is louder because I forgot that I took my speaker with me to play NYC. So I turned up the music on iTunes while trying to figure out why can't I hear anything in my music setup. It's like because you unplugged the auxiliary cord, so it stopped playing music to your other computer. Good job. I know how to do things with computers, and I'm very good at it. It's like my job or something. Because I'm a genius. Anyway, memes aside for 1 second. Let's debrief a little bit about Play NYC and how that went. Because boy, did that go in like the best possible way. Hi, Shen. So I was there most of Friday. How you doing, Shen? Hopefully well. I was there with KT and a couple of the other members of the team most of Friday, most of Saturday, and most of Sunday. And by most, I mean like I got to the convention maybe like an hour or so after start time. So this was the first year that Anime NYC actually managed to get the whole of the Javits Center down in like Lower Manhattan, out near Hudson Yards. Which is impressive because Javits Center is huge. Anime NYC got the whole complex, and Play NYC decided to partner with them for the convention also because people wanted to get like a good 3 days of Play NYC. So, the Ryu and Cyclops handshaking meme, I need to turn that into a stream flare. Ryu and Cyclops shaking hands. How did I not? Huh. I'm clowning. But yeah, second day, AT printed like 250 cards to give out. This nice little QR code stuff with our Patreon on the back and a link to the demo on the front. Oh yeah, good news by the way. The August version of the demo is out. If y'all want that, literally the version I was working on up until just before stream today. So if you want to go play that, you do ! Munity. It gives you the links to our website as well as to where like you can go play the prototype. So if you want to go play the August version of that, which is like literally, this is about as close as you're going to get to being near feature parity with me streaming. So if you're curious, now's the time to go grab that. Also, I think we figured out how to make it work for Mac. So Yep, that should be the October version right there. And just simple. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, hi Giuseppe. Good to see you. So yeah, Play NYC was great. Anime NYC itself was really great. Got a friendo. Say hi to Umbra. She's not quite the same style as the other the other plushies that I have. A little bit smaller, but it's okay. Still a cutie. Get her. I limited myself to that because like otherwise I would have been walking the floor and getting all kinds of shenaniganry, and I'm like, nope, can't do that. Need to make sure that I'm leaving money for. So yeah, tiny friends. Basically, of the EV evolutions, my favorites are Jolteon, Espeon, Umbreon, and Leafeon, and I have 3 out of the 4 of those. So I think there might have been at least a Jolteon there, but Vaporeon is also like in the run. To be honest, I don't use Vaporeon that often, but I have come to appreciate Vaporeon's design more. Longer that I have the longer that I sort of like ponder and ruminate over it, Vaporeon is also getting up there. The fins, the fishtail, and the ruffled collar are all really, really good. But yeah, Play NYC was really good. I needed. It's kind of funny because basically after Sunday, I came on Sunday, went to go celebrate an early birthday for a friend of mine, and then that's what I had energy for. So instead of streaming on Sunday, I went to go just fuck around with a friend instead on their stream, and then after that was done, I passed out. Got up the next day, did a big chunk of work on Shoot Lancer, passed out again when I came home, and surprisingly, like I'm together. There are a lot of big things in the pipe. Of the things that I think that I can talk about, right. So, a couple things to be aware of for people that might be curious. Our Shoot Lancer Kickstarter is planned for like the end of September. And then basically, roughly around the time that we hit the end of October, ideally, we basically do a lock on the demo in terms of like the number of levels that there are, and get that version like up and stuck for people to play, and it basically stays the way that it is unless major changes come through for the early access version, which basically gets rolling updates about like every 2 months or so is the plan. And yeah, the August update is pretty sick. IMO. I'll go over some of it before getting into like the things that we're doing. So yeah, kind of hype. As for what we're doing tonight, I think at this point, stage 1 and stage 2 are mostly like locked down insofar as like specific things I want to tweak, which means that stage 3, I'm basically digging back into my old game design document to go look at what the level layout and some of the behaviors that I had planned were, and then we're going to go from there, basically. So yeah, I'll go over the changelog so y'all have an idea of what to expect, and then we'll get into it. Probably, I think I'm going till either 9 or 9:30 tonight. Maybe till 9, because I've already put in a bit of work on Shootlands earlier today, getting the update ready. So I don't want to push hard and do too many hours in one day. So, you know. Alright. So let's go look about it. IGH. Okay. So go over kind of like the basic changes. Some of these are things that y'all have already seen, because let me phrase that differently. If you've been watching the stream frequently, some of these are things that you have already seen. For people who haven't, here's a basic rundown of the stuff that's changed since the July build. We have a new title screen. We have new visual and sound effects for player bombs and enemies being defeated. Leona has new animations for flying backward and shooting while flying backward. And the HUD now labels the spread and shot windows with which power-ups that you have. One of the things that kind of like came back from Play NYC, just from me like kind of watching people play, is that I feel like there wasn't... also, Joseph, how's your game been going? I forgot to ask that. I had a brain fart partway through, so forgive me for that. But yeah, like, how's your game been going? Hopefully well. Actually, I'm gonna switch screens real quick just because there's some stuff I forgot to post on Discord, and I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the Discord window was gonna pop up on the left monitor. I was pretty sure it wasn't going to, but better safe than sorry. Is Leona the player character? Is she named after Leona from King of Fighters? Yes, and not on purpose. I don't think. When I say I don't think, what I mean is, so her full name is Leona Almeida, right? But I could not tell you if when I named her X years ago, I was actively thinking about KOF Leona or not. I might have been. I don't know. I was mostly like, I just want a name that's Latin, because it feels like this is the kind of person that she is. So that's the way that I went with that. So yeah, I don't know. No worries, game is going well. I've mostly been polishing stuff up before starting the next big system, just procrastinating a bit. Yo, sometimes like it only goes when it goes. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where you sit, you put in a bunch of work for a while, and then it's like, okay, brain has said enough, right? Brain's gone like, yeah, this is good, I'm good. everything to show. And then you just kind of have to like wait it out until your brain chooses to cooperate again. That's entirely okay. Yeah, it only goes when it goes. Yeah, exactly. It only goes when it goes. Okay, now I remember. Okay, cool. Now I remember what I was planning for this. Means we're gonna need an extra, this tutorial. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I now know what we're doing. So yeah, let me finish going over this. The first tutorial enemy was changed to a drone, so it doesn't shoot you back when you attack it. You get rid of it in one shot now. That was kind of an issue that people were running into. I added in one more wave of enemies at the end of stage 2 to sort of help fill some of the air there. Some general adjustments to Leona's attributes and behavior. You can move while tutorial windows are open. Leona has less invul time after getting hit. But to compensate for that, her spin cooldown has been reduced. After dying and reviving, she has like a brief window of like pure invulnerability. And if you have no bombs left when you die, you regain 1 for free when you revive. Bombs now damage enemies even when they are invincible to being shot, because a major thing that was happening during play NYC and even a little bit before that was like people would shoot a boss and put a bomb afterward. The bomb would go off, no damage happened, and be like, what? But I bombed them. Why didn't it work? So I went back and forth on that, trying to sort of sort out what would make the most sense for what would be most reasonable, right? To kind of like mitigate that, because on the one hand, bombs, not that they're not supposed to be useful against bosses, but against bosses you are supposed to have to basically put a little bit more on the line. So just making it so that like, oh yeah, they're always bosses are always invincible to being bombed when they're still in their rolling frames is like, okay, doesn't work for people. It doesn't feel internally consistent. But then how do I make sure that you don't like shoot a boss? Because the point primarily of also shooting bosses is that in this game, a shot stuffs them, right? If you shoot a boss, it has to take a minute to kind of like catch its footing, which usually, there's one more change that happened that I'm going to have to ask. No, I'll have to amend it myself. There's a change that I missed here, and that's my fault. Or did I? No. Never mind. I'm full of shit. I'm misremembering it. I'm telling myself a lie. When you program lots of changes, when you're a little bit sleep deprived, your brain starts crossing wires real fast. That's not good. So never mind the thing I was going to say. So the main trade-off that I made insofar as like, okay, right, how do I make bombs more consistent without just making it so that the player can shoot the boss, stop them from firing, and then just throw out like a bomb, and then another bomb, and then it's done, right? Granted, bombs themselves, because of how strong they are, I was like, I really want to make sure that there's some push and pull. If anybody that has been watching the stream for a while knows that one of my favorite words for this general sort of thing is talking about tension, right? Like the tension between friction, rather. the friction between like the way two particular mechanics work and how that forces people to make decisions one way or the other, right? They got to figure out which way to jump. Like, putting people in a situation where they have to kind of like do one or the other is important to me, because I feel like it, you know, making somebody have to make a decision is a good thing in a video game, right? So the trade-off is that basically bombs now will always hit enemies even when they have like shot invulnerability, but the damage is reduced significantly when you do that, right? And so one of the major things that kind of results from that is that, yeah, sure, you can bomb enemies like back to back while they're stunned, but you're basically kind of giving up the effectiveness. If you really want to make it work, you have to, especially against a boss, you basically have to kind of like I'm not going to say earn it, that sounds weird. You have to put in the effort to make sure that you can like fight them or put them in a place where the bomb is going to be safe and detonate accordingly. You have to plan it, is what I'm getting at. So, related to that, stage 1 boss, the Egglet Heavy Cruiser, has a smaller hitbox, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because you have to aim your shots a little more precisely now, but also you don't get clipped by, it requires setup to use most effective. Yes, and that is a very deliberate thing I wanted, especially against bosses, because of how strong it is, right? It's going to be a thing where even if someone is like, hey, isn't there like a way to, like, hey, I really want to be able to move while firing the bomb, I would probably make you move super slow while doing that, because the point primarily is that if you're going to commit to throwing a bomb, which will either clear the screen of enemies or do a lot of damage to a boss, if you do it while that boss is not invincible, you need to set up for that. So exactly, Cat Wizard, you're correct. So yeah, the Egglet Heavy Cruiser having a smaller hitbox means that you don't get clipped by some of its moving silliness as easily, but you have to aim a little more carefully. Because people were having trouble really following when it was dropping bombs, they now have a proper animation when they detonate. They have a sound effect that hit pauses similar to the bomb effects that Leona got in this update. And bombs themselves now have a brief, and I have to fix this because even as I pushed it, I realized that I forgot to make sure that the text disappears when the bomb explodes. That's on me, because I wasn't thinking about that. Text accompaniment element is basically just like a series of exclamation points that appear right under it to make it slightly easier to try to see, oh, wait, shit, I need to go blow this thing up. These changes were already at Play NYC for the Brigadier, but I'm going over them anyway because I don't think I didn't implement them until like this past Friday, before the second day of the convention. So the Brigadier has a little bit less health than she used to. Her vertical tracking speed is slower. So before, right, if you look at the way that the Brigadier behaves, generally speaking, she tries to track within a certain vertical distance of you, but she's doing that at the same speed that she moves horizontally, which basically means that it's like new, and it's really hard to shake her. So I cut her vertical tracking speed in half, so she moves toward you very quickly, but doesn't move up and down toward you nearly as fast. Her weapon shot type has been changed to like deal less damage overall, and the horizontal range to which she will chase you in either direction has been reduced. She will still turn around if you try to like get around her, but I like that, and I like doing that to people just to mess with them. It's fun. So forgive me that indulgence, if you will. Any road. That's basically all the major changes that the game has gotten. So to that end, I'm gonna let's see. Node, you want a control node. This control node. This rich text label. So we're gonna control node. And we're gonna lock it so we can't move it from inside. Put this right here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just double check to make sure that I didn't leave. Okay, good. So yeah, if you ever see me like switch scenes like that, just assume that I'm checking something to make sure that I didn't that nothing pops up on the wrong screen. In bars and region. And the thing that I really like about, I'm going to take a minute to gush about Godot, because this is something I like a lot. With Godot, right? I'm going to talk about this when I go over in a second. I'm going to say that okay. Is C# a first-class language in Godot or not officially supported? Godot has a build that does support C#. I want to say that they've had C# support in its mature state since at least Godot 4. I know that maybe there were later versions of like the Godot 3 back catalog that also have C# support, but Godot 4, I want to say from my vague memory, is where it has become the most mature, at least so far. The main thing is that you do have to like install you have to install some dependencies and stuff because it uses mono in order to work correctly. But yeah, I just use Visual Studio Community with the appropriate stuff installed, and everything's peachy. There are ways even to communicate between GD scripts and C# scripts. I haven't looked into it a bunch because I haven't needed it yet. But yeah, I have generally had a pretty good time using C# with Godot. And Shoot Lancer started in like Godot 4.1, I want to say. Then I updated to 4.2 and 4.3 as we've been going. But 4.3 is probably where it's going to stay update-wise. I don't think I'm pushing like 4.3.1 or anything like that unless really, really significant changes happen to come through. What programming language are you using here? Let me try that again. What programming language are you using here? I studied Java a little in high school, but don't know anything else. This is C#. A very long time ago, I also learned Java in high school. But yeah, I have been programming in C# since probably grad school, because that's the language that is basically like first class for Unity. Unity also had JavaScript support a long time ago, but at this point, basically anybody who's like seriously developing in Unity uses C#, so that's what I happen to know the best. Godot has a Python-like native language called GD script, which is not bad to learn, but the main thing that I don't like about GD script is primarily that it's not strongly typed. In other words, right, when you make variables in GD script, much like with JavaScript, right, the type of variable that it is not determined by whether you say int or Godot.collections.array or packed scene or whatever, right? By default, most variables in GD script are what's called weakly typed, which means that if you are not careful about how you are transferring the data, it is entirely possible to overwrite the data in one variable with data of a completely different type. Like, it is possible in weakly typed languages, if you're not very deliberate about what you set up and how you do, to accidentally put like a Boolean value into an integer. It's like basically trying to say true, false. And think of it like trying to fit a square box. Like think of it like you have a square box. Yeah, there's overlap that can mix things up. Yeah, with weakly typed languages, this is the way that I like to describe variables when I used to teach. I was like, think of a variable like a box, right? And the data type is the shape of the box. Certain things can only fit in certain types of boxes, right? So the data type of a variable is like the shape of a box. It dictates the things that can like fit in there and what makes sense to fit in, right? In strongly typed languages like C#, for example, if you have a box that's shaped like a rectangle and you try to put something that is like a circle in there, it doesn't go. It goes like, what are you doing? Or to use the metaphor a little differently, if you try to put a floating point value into an integer variable in C# will go, what are you doing? This is not This is not your whole. This is not made for you. And it doesn't work, right? Whereas with weakly typed languages, right, there's no such checking like that unless you are careful. Welcome back, Vinka. So, yeah, right? It's unlike this. So, basically speaking, yeah, if you want to find metaphor for it, basically weakly typed languages are like the square is, weakly typed languages are literally like the square hole meme. It is entirely possible to fit a completely different type of variable into a variable you already have, unless you're very specific about like making sure that you don't like cross up data like that. And it can be very easy to fuck that up if you're not paying attention. So I don't particularly like weakly typed languages or GDScript for that reason. Also, the other part of it, so this is not me saying that GDScript is bad, to be clear, right? Because GDScript is native to Godot, there are some features that just roll real quick, real fast, real easy when you're using GDScript. And with C#, you have to use a couple more workarounds. But for me, because I know C# better, I can basically make up for whatever things I don't understand with Godot with things that I know how to do in C#. So it kind of evens out for me. C# is more strict about what can be in a given variable based on type. Yes. That would be annoying, especially in proximal. Yes. Yes. It would be my absolute dream if Unreal would support Kotlin or C#. God, I hate C++. One of the things that I admit that I know has made it difficult for a lot of the things I was doing in my job search is that because Unreal is like a brick wall to me. Even as I like try to like mess even just a little bit with blueprints, try to get my brain around it, I thought about and I tried a little bit of trying to like actually learn how to program with C++. That there's so much going on in that language. My brain said no. It was just like a hard damn it. Didn't work. Just no good. Which is a shame because I did and do still want to like I do still really want to like share that. But yeah, that's why I don't really like weakly typed languages, which is a reason why I'm kind of frustrated about how things with Unity went, because really and truly, I was looking forward to RPG Maker Unite like a lot, because one of the things that kind of like got me tangled up as far as RPG Maker, like its current versions like MV and MZ and things like that, sure, they had support, but they had like support for you making your own custom modules and like messing around in the source code, but it's all written in JavaScript. And I really do not want to fuck with JavaScript. I do not. That is not a thing that I want to do. So I kind of had to leave it alone, right? I was really hoping that with RPG Maker Unite, I'd be able to like dig into the guts a little bit and really get more customization stuff out of it, because I understand Unity better than I do any level of JavaScript. But then Unity decided to be Unity and be weird about it. And so it's like, all right, well, forget that then. I cannot say in good faith that I'd be working on like a JRPG anytime soon, because that is a really, really big commitment, right? That takes a lot of work to do correctly, and that is not something that you do on a whim. Didn't I? I exported it, right? Yeah, I did. So then why can't I find it? Oh, there it is. I'm like, where is it? But yeah, no, I feel that's how it works. So I I get you. I feel that, and it's a shame because there's a fighting game framework for Unreal called Night Sky Engine that I really think is kind of interesting. I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff. I love. One of the things that at some point I would really like to do sometime is like actually commercially release a fighting game. But I know that I need like a really, really robust framework that is made for that. Correction, it is not something you do on a whim after your 21st birthday. Gain legal drinking, lose spontaneous RP. Yeah, like I did a really short one that I've left unreleased. That I've left unreleased for like a while. And the reason why I don't release it, admittedly, is because I feel like it's sort of like really a little bit underpolished. Like I didn't really like put a lot. I ran out of steam in terms of like trying to get the battles to like feel at least remotely interesting in a really compelling sense. So it's like you could probably clear it in like less than an hour, right? It's not like super long, and I could maybe like throw it up. Wait a minute, I just googled all. Unreal Sharp is a free and open source plugin for UE5 that allows game developers to use. See? That's cool. That's pretty cool. Very interesting. I suspect that like most major like studios would probably still insist on using C++. But I like that. That's good. Because probably some degree of like Unreal's arcane nonsense would be more sensible if I wasn't having to learn a new programming language on top of it. It's the same reason why ultimately we went with Godot, and why like the C# support being more mature has made Shoot Lancer possible, because it's less me fighting against both a new language and the engine, and more just me learning the specific foibles of the engine and the way that it works, while learning how to translate the things I already know how to speak, so to speak. Okay, so we have that. That should be set now. Okay, let's look at stage 3. Because Alright, let's look at stage 3. Because that's the thing that That's the thing that we gotta deal with next. Stage 2. Well, first things first. KT gave me permission to do this, so we're doing it. So right now, I'd love to work on an RPG sometime, even if it's just like writing a side quest or some minor character dialogue, but I know I never said. We're just gonna. No, not through red. It's not a good color to color shift. That'll do for now. I had a small taste of crunch in college and noped out hard, lol. Power-ups. why did I say health H? Dang it, me! I gotta go change. Oh god, this is going to change a bunch of stuff, isn't it now? Yeah, these dudes are bad news. Okay. Oh, y'all get to see B. Oh, right. I need to keyframe the gotta keyframe the color change for the time being. It's not going to look different. So animation player. I like the stage C background. As as always, Yuna is as always, Yuna is killing it. It's pretty much the only way I can describe it. There we go. I like the stage C back. Right. I just randomly remembered spending hours playing around with the scenario editor in Age of Empires as a kid. Yeah. Um, my very first taste of game making was RPG Maker 2003. I have very, very fond memories of RPG Maker 2003. So, which means I need to swap this out. Yeah, I need to swap this out because it's gonna be really fussy unless I swap that. So over here, instead of this, we're gonna do quick load enemies. This is why we have generic states, because every now and again I need those for things. First timer, firing timer. Nope. Right, I need to set it over here. No, I need to set it on the weapon. We're gonna do 10 seconds per bomb. We're gonna do stage 3 again. So I need to double check. No, it's the firing timer, isn't it? So I don't think I'm changing that. Do it over here. Okay. 5. I want you to have enough time to like realize that the bomb is coming and stuff it. That's important. Five. Ah, This should work. Okay, let's see. That should not. Bomber. This guy. All right. Good. That works the way it's supposed to. And you get the bomb pickup from that. So I mostly just wanted to make sure that that worked correctly. So we're going to put an actual bomber in like wave 2. First actual enemy that we're going to start off with is like... BRB? Okay. Okay. So we'll just start with a pretty standard 3 spread. Let the 2 troopers form. try to be careful about making waves too thick at the start because there's like you want to put a little bit of like a deft hand on it, right? You want to, or rather, you want to put like a gentle hand on it. Is what I'm really trying to say. Because it would be really easy to kind of just like kick in all guns blazing, right? I could do that if I really felt like it. But one of the things that I'm trying to very deliberately sort of like preserve is stagger out the wave times a little. Bomber though really truly needs a proper sort of like honor guard to sort of come through. Right. So the thing I was saying when I was thinking earlier, right? Like I could very easily just like throw like a wall of enemies at the player to start. Like I could, and I could probably get away with it. But like one of the things that someone said to me that kind of sticks with me in terms of like a thing that they said about the pacing of the game, which I appreciate, was that like they appreciate the sort of slower build up to things. And so in some aspects, I am trying to sort of keep that as a thing, right? But it is a very delicate kind of like in between of also look also welcome back also welcome back Cat Wizard. It's a very delicate kind of like balance between giving a wave some proper depth, right? Here though, I want to switch out. It's one of those things where I want to sort of preserve what that person said they liked about the game, just like the very sort of like gradual build up of the pace. But by the time we're on stage 3, right, you sort of understand what you're about here. Right, you sort of understand what we're about here. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where The word is going to come to me when it comes to me. For whatever reason, my brain is like shutting off super hardcore right now. Right, I was talking about sort of preserving the sort of like slow start. Right, but you've been playing the game for a while at this point. You sort of know what to expect, and so some of it is about building up a little bit more of that pace again, right? Where at a certain point, now that you sort of know what to expect by like stage 3, there are like other little tweaks that I want to sort of like try as a method of really putting players in a position where it's not like you get a bunch of. Let me phrase that more carefully. It's not necessarily by sheer numbers that things get dropped on you so much, in as much as it is like, can a well-timed dodge roll avoid bombs? No, it cannot. Bombs are a you have to shoot them sort of thing. And that is mostly because I guess it's more so true now than it used to be. Caching a little too. So no, you cannot dodge roll a bomb. You have to shoot it down. Okay, good. Yeah, that one does perfect. Huh. I did something weird. I don't know if I like that. I have to see something. Oh, I did something silly, and I thought I engineered that fix, but it doesn't actually work because I wasn't thinking about the way that this thing. No, never mind. Sorry, I was thinking about a different thing that I thought I fixed. Um, hmm. Okay, that's a public function already. If the bomb count plus one is less than the bomb limit, otherwise bomb count is the bomb limit. Maybe the Sari Bop made slime. Yeah, no. For whatever reason, whenever Sari Bot gets rid of a bot, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't clear that for whatever reason. I don't know why. Oh, never mind. I just didn't see Stebby's comments. Is also I thought Simon had a moment. Yeah, that I don't blame you. Also, hi Shark. Let's see. Part that I seem to not be able to figure out is why can you hit it twice? That's the part that I'm worried about. That's the part that I don't like. Wow, they're just everywhere today, huh? Hey, Yuna, what's up? Hi, Yukio. Aw, look, it's a curly brace. Curly brace, that's a cute emote. I like that. Cave Story is one of my favorite games. Hang on. If the enemy is on screen. Eh? Why did I. Oh, literally. Ah, I just had a moment where I'm like, wait, what? And I had to remember why I set that up. Um, very good. Loving how CC is going so far. Yeah, mostly I just got to get the. I just got to get the other stuff right. That hitbox disabled. Okay, so that is happening. Okay, hang on. I'm being asked to do some math. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Okay, come on, brain. I need collisions over here. Okay. Team, haha, how's it going? Pretty good. So yeah, for anybody who does not already know, Solaris Una is one of, yep, as the as the shout as the shout so notes. Um, Basically, Una does background art and concept art for Shoot Lancer. It does it very very well, to be entirely clear. Um, as I said before, I like the stage 3 background. Hey, Thank goodness I don't have anything back behind that layer because that would be really, really awkward. Um, um, Gotta make sure that you just can't hit the dang thing anymore. Here. Okay, right. So I just need to like enemy actually let's just have this ready. Oh no, help depleted. No, I should do that. Not in the base one. I should do that in the enemy bomb. I almost did something very, very silly there. Um, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me come over. Is it Enum collection? Here's what we're gonna do. Public collision layers. And we're gonna do, how many do I make? Player, enemy, player bullets, enemy bullets, player pickup hitbox, player pickups. So I have 1 through 6 reserved. So we're gonna do player equals 1, enemy player bullets, enemy bullets, enemy 2, player bullets. I need to double check something. I need to double check to see if it's the bit value that it checks or the other thing. I should have checked that earlier. Given a layer number between 1 and 32, and there's 16 of these. Hold on. Okay, no. It's just that they do that like that. Okay, cool. So what they actually mean is just like the hard number. Okay. Because there's a difference between like the bit value versus the actual player bullets, enemy bullets. Player pickup hitbox, player pickups. So the nice thing is that by setting the value of collision layers that player to 1, everything else kind of follows suit and automatically numbers themselves. The reason why I'm doing this is because I can now jump back over to here, and rather than like having to remember to rather than having to remember, oh right, 2 is the number that I need, I can just do collision layers dot enemy. And if it gets angry, I can just do this int collision layers dot enemy. Right? So now it will it will return 2 and turn it off over there. So I don't have to stress that nearly as much. Right? Um, One of the things that is a helpful-ish habit to get into is that when you do things like this, it makes it easier for you to like actively when things are human readable like this, it makes it harder to mess up. It makes it harder for you to mess up the things that you intend to do. Is basically the simplest way to put it. I don't need to keep setting it all over the place. I think I just need to do this. I'm going to take a quick look around and make sure that I not overdone this in a different spot. Back is updated. Thank you. Appreciate. Okay. Okay. Mhm. I'm just taking a minute to clean up a couple spots where I'm doing right because it doesn't do the base. That needs to do that. Yeah, those should all be fine. Mostly, I've been trying and failing to get multiple power ups to stop dropping when enemies die, and also to not be able to shoot a bomb multiple times. So okay, good. That works great. So yeah, bombers by themselves are not very effective. Is what I'm getting off of these sort of immediate sort of placements, right? Which basically means that in waves where the bombers show up, we've got to load we have to really load gotta load the wave a little bit and try to make sure that we have enough going on that it's a little harder to get a challenge out. I'm gonna put a bunch on and we're gonna see here. I didn't do this right. Time for me to get beaten by a giant cat girl for a couple hours, catch on Friday stream. Good luck, cat wizard. Oh, I need to. Damn it! I gotta do normals. I gotta do normals. Damn it! That's what I've been forgetting to do this whole time. I need to do normals. Fuck! Reset was yesterday, and I haven't done normals yet. Damn it! That's to be. Only Wednesday. You got 5 days still. Yeah, but I have at least 3 characters. I gotta do it at least 3 times. Lol, Lamau. Hold on a second. There's something wrong about how I set it. Where these spawn. Should have these two should be at the same time. They should be at the same time. So should these two. And so should these. Because ideally what I would like is to have like a full and proper wave going in such a thick number that by the time the bomber comes out, right, you are still kind of like sweating some of what else is happening. So you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I'm going to move this one up to the center. I'm going to move bomber up 17 to the 17s and then go from there. Because basically the thing is that one of the times you picked up the... Yeah, I saw that too. That's the tough thing about the tanker. Tanker needs a lot of covering fire, and so it's going to be a hard enemy to utilize a lot. Because without... That's what it is. That's what we need. I was loath to kind of like put... Yeah, we got to make a choice. So the bomber is pretty rough. So I think we need to flank it with 2 bombers, or 2 tanks, rather. This might be a little bit too much, but basically the way that I'm looking at and approaching the wave design in this game is that like each wave is kind of its own little setup. This should be a bomb. This should be with scouts. Oh, I got rid of the bomber by accident. Looking over. Here. I said that the bomber was supposed to be the 17th. Messed it up. So, bomber is here. Wave 15th. So yeah, like basically, right? The way that I sort of look at how to stagger out waves is that a wave, right, does not necessarily last. It's not like, oh yeah, every wave is supposed to be exactly 5 seconds. I don't do anything like that. It's more along the lines of like, what challenge does this wave present? And so what enemies go in the wave in order to present that, right? Oh, I just got a terrible, terrible idea in the best possible way. I think I'm going to use it. Bombers have hyper armor, and I'm not sorry. Bombers have hyper armor. That's the thing that was missing. Hyper armor. So they don't flinch, basically. Lol, Lamau, have fun. think that is about as much help as I can reasonably give it without lapsing into extremely stressful bullshit beyond what is actually okay. And I think maybe make enemy bombs a little bit tougher. Up at that level a little bit. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Bomber enemy added. Health. But accordingly, right? Like I'm not. While bombers will be in this level, I am planning on using them very sparingly, and then very sparingly forward from here, right? I do need to test that thing that he said though, where if I get a bomb power up, I need to double check to see if it's gonna. So then, Looks like we've resolved it. Oh, right, I never set the hit sound. That's my fault. Enemy bomb. We're gonna come over here. Where's it? Hit sound is this. Yeah, I forgot to assign it. But that should be fixed now. Okay, there is one thing I do need to make sure I do though, because it's a little strong if it's a little strong in that case. But I have a way around this. All I really need to do is go over looks fixed unless there's some spaghetti of no, it's more or less handled. I just need to do one thing real quick, which is when damage is taken. Just to make sure that like you actually hang on, I gotta check a thing. So stop timer. Oh, I think I know. That's really convenient. I can just literally do this and go, hey, so what we're going to do is very simple, right? When the bomb takes damage, its timer is paused for a little bit. When it's not, the timer resumes back at the value that it had left. Yeah, Bezos time. I'm gonna wait till we get back from that because that's the threat that I wanted. That's the threat that I was hoping for. That's exactly the way that I wanted it. All right. So I'm gonna wait for the ad to clear, and then I'll decide if we're gonna head out or not. Um, push the bomber back a little bit more. And firing timer, firing timer a little more threatening. But yeah, like ideally, I do in fact want people to be like feeling a kind of way when it's like, oh no, oh no, oh god, like it's a bomber, right? That is very deliberately. Yeah, ideally, like when a bomber shows up, I really and truly want people to feel like, oh god, oh shit, oh god, oh shit, oh god, oh shit. That is very much a thing that I deliberately want. I want people to feel. Hang on a second. I'm waiting for the ad to finish, so finish my line of thought. Okay, ads are done. Cool. They have been for about 2 minutes. Okay, cool. So I have that backwards. But yeah, I kind of want bombers to be a oh god, oh god, oh shit sort of moment where you're like, oh no, 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 right? Where you start feeling that pressure of like, oh man, oh fuck, they're here. I'm freaking out, right? I do want that to be a thing on purpose, so I am tuning them a little strongly initially, and then using them very sparingly. That's the plan, right? Um, I want I want players to feel like they're in a situation where if a bomber shows up and a tank shows up, and it's like, okay, right, I gotta make a pick between one or the other. Which one is the priority? Which one do I need to shoot down? Shit, shit, shit. That is sort of the feeling that I would like to. That is the feeling that I would like to engender on purpose. Um, and that's sort of like what I'm aiming for with that enemy type. they should be strong. They should be scary. You should be like, oh god. And then that's why I plan on using them, like, even in levels where they would be present, I plan on using them sparingly. One, because if you're in perfect health when you kill one, you get a bomb. That's super valuable. I want that to be a thing where you start feeling yourself sweat a little bit. Where it's like, all right, I got the bomb upgrade. Hell yeah, right? It's bomb timer pauses. Leona's do not. The main thing, at least right now, is that Leona's bombs don't have full parity with enemy bombs, where, like, yours are more fragile than theirs because yours puts you in a far better position and yours travels faster. So that's kind of like the balancing factor, right? If your bomb was exact, your bomb is technically, like, that's the trade off basically, right? Like, Leona's bombs are fragile, but because they move faster, it is easier for you to, what's the word I'm looking for? Because Leona's bombs are faster, if you put them in the right spot, it is easier for them to avoid getting shot down. The enemy's bombs are slower to make it easier for you to shoot them, but to compensate for that, they've got more health. So technically speaking, this is also a buff to the stage 1 boss. Oops. But hey, yeah, this more or less has that laid out, which is good. Um, Probably the next major thing for me to start looking at is to figure out the boss behavior for this level. I know more or less what it's supposed to do, but that's going to be the part that takes the most time. Most of the rest of the wave is literally just going to be arranging enemies correctly and trying to get the pacing to feel correct. So probably what I'm going to be spending most of my time doing is actually working on the boss and then filling in the waves afterward, because that's not too difficult. I don't anticipate, don't this is not a hard number, but I don't anticipate there being more than like maybe 2 or 3 bombers in this stage, if that many, just to like get people to, at this point, right? Because basically the progression of the way that this works is more or less that the stage 1 boss drops those bombs fairly infrequently and is a little bit less threatening, right? The bombers, that's not the case. They become significantly, they represent significantly more of a threat accordingly. But by now, ideally, the player has at least seen one bomb in action from the first boss. And if they haven't, the bombers are where they learn how to do that, which is why I'm keeping them very low in number, right? Very much a very deliberate sort of like, hey, watch your ass sort of thing. And ideally trying to compensate for maybe, just maybe, they may not see the bomb otherwise. But, But yeah, any road. I think this is pretty much time. This is pretty much time, I think. So, let's go. Thanks to Shark opening up the back and updating that. I know probably I can figure out pretty easily who we can hang out with. Sin, if you're still here, if you could kindly do me a solid and throw down commercials and stuff, deeply appreciated. All right. I'll do it then, because it looks like Sin may be AFK. Okay. So, as always, thank y'all for coming by. I'm gonna go dig up the thing for who we can go hang out with. Yeah, I know who we're gonna go hang out with. I'm pretty sure. I know exactly who. But just to run through links, game analysis, design stuff, and Godot thoughts I do over on cohost.org/SJ Says Games. I have past game design posts up on my Medium. Stream VODs are up at youtube.com/@SJ Says Games. You can watch those and catch up. Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon and Jeff Bezos because you think they're stink heads, a monthly sub on Ko-Fi, I keep way more of that money than I do a Twitch sub, especially because Twitch subs are more expensive now. My throne has various stream and not stream related gifts that you can help contribute to, either by directly buying outright or doing crowdfund contributing. Like, for example, this handy dandy stream deck, which makes my life a lot easier in terms of switching scenes and things like that. And my card has all my other social media links, but mostly on other social media, I'll mostly just be doing Shoot Lancer stuff. Speaking of Shoot Lancer, again, if you would like to know more about Munity, which is the small indie game studio co-op that I helped found, that I'm working on Shoot Lancer with, that Yuna's also a part of, you can go to munity.games to get more info about that. Our Patreon has both a free tier and a paid tier. Paid tier gets your name in the credits of Shoot Lancer, as well as I should have polled before I did stuff. Well, it's fine. I'll do that now. You get basically your name in our credits page alongside the other people that are sort of helping to fund the development. You also, whether free or paid, you get to join our Discord and get the haps on some of the things that are happening with Munity. Paid members get a little bit extra, right? I think anyway. I have to double check the tiers. I forget sometimes. And then if you want to play what is basically the current version of the game, minus like whatever changes I'm making over the next couple of weeks, go to our itch page at munity.itch.io and go get the Shoot Lancer prototype. We now have it available for Mac. You will have to use the control-click method when playing it for Mac because that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. At least for now. It might become easier to like do something around that soon, TM, but there are certain costs associated with that we have to look into. So no promises. So we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock the God because we haven't gotten to hang out with Jay for a while. He does a variety of different kinds of things. He'll play some Resident Evil speedruns sometimes. Other times he'll sit down and crunch out some JRPGs. Sometimes he'll sit around and do Tower Unite. It kind of just depends on his mood. But overall, Jay is just like really chill, really fun, and really cool to hang out with. Today he's playing some Risk of Rain 2. And he's really good at Risk of Rain 2. So we're going to go hang out with him and see what... give him an SH does raids when we get in. Let him know who sent you. Throw in your favorite emotes. They don't have to be my emotes. They can be whatever emotes you want. When I'm going to be streaming again. This Friday is Fighting Friday. The first Fighting Friday we've had in a while because most Fridays I've either had other things to do, had to cancel for other reasons, or just was like tired of shit. So this is our first Fighting Friday in a couple weeks. I don't know what we're gonna play. I'm not sure. Because 2XKO is current Alpha Lab is closed down, so we can't play that again. I don't know. I'll consider some things. Think about some things. I did get to play some Third Strike and some CBS2. I did get to play some Third Strike and some CBS2 while at Play NYC, so my brain is turning toward either of those. But the convenient way to play Third Strike that I am immediately aware of, no, I don't want to expose y'all to that. Same thing for CBS2. So, well, maybe CBS2 will be a little bit less ick about it. Maybe I might play just Street Fighter, or maybe King of Fighters 15. I feel like Terry is what I'm saying. And then Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Breath of Fire 4. We're getting back to that, moving our way toward the end game, so we can finish that game up, and with it end our year of Breath of Fire 4. And then I have to sort of figure out what we're gonna play next. So, thank y'all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, don't go outside if you don't have to, be excellent to each other. But not to bigots, racists, terrorists, sexists, anti-queer folks, or Zionists. These are your reminders that Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights, Palestine will be free, Sudan will be free, the Congo will be free, California will be free. Kind of just how it is. Thank y'all for coming by. Give Jay my best. I'll catch you whenever I catch you. Deuces.